Now here's one that wasn't on the bill of things I expected to do. Now you see why your given auto parts store sells these things every day. But yeah, handle busted, non-functional, so I gotta pull all this apart and replace that. I've done it before. I did it on my 2001 Tahoe, so it's not that big a deal. And that reminds me, I need to go get my riveter, because you need either rivets or you use machine screws. I've done that before too with these things. But yeah, gotta go find my riveter, tear this door panel apart and get it done. In a previous video I talked about how this should, in theory, let me be able to get to everything easy enough with this insulation. And I'm also reminded of the simple fact that I probably should have reviewed the video from 1A Auto on how to tear one of these door panels down, because it seems like every time I do it, it's a relearning process. But the relearning point for me was you pull this out first, pull that out first, disconnect everything out there, and then go after what you got. And obviously on this door panel too, I also left enough of the wire here to theoretically be able to set the door panel down like this and be able to not have to disconnect the speakers. I mean, I could, but not really care to right now. And in theory, this is easy enough to get to, because once you get into it, you basically got this one rivet. Drill that rivet out, replace that rivet, and you should be good to go. Only trouble is my rivet gun is not accessible right now, so I might have to do this with machine screws. A little bit annoying, but yeah, I do believe it's exactly what I did the last time too with my 2000 Tahoe, which was a Z71, so same door panel, same everything. But yeah, let's get this torn apart and get this done. I was hoping to avoid pulling it all apart, but yeah, I kind of need these access points here. Get in all these holes, be able to get back here and disconnect all these runners that go to the door mechanism. So let's see if I can get all that done. But yeah, just peel it back just enough so I got access, and then should be able to, after that, pull this apart. It should disengage from this steel piece here that is held on by these little 7mm, 10mm, something like that, sheet metal screws, factory ones. But you should be able to pull this straight out once you've got all those disconnected. Let's see if should works into does. So I was messing around with trying to remove this point from the backside and realized it's just easier to slide this thing out, because that one rivet that attaches here to there, that's the only thing that holds it. You can see all these tracks, the whole system with all the tabs that are everywhere, they slide forward. And this little nub here just kind of rides around in here, and you can get it out, and you got better access to that. Probably the shakiest camera work ever, but hopefully you get the point. That really this whole mechanism only attaches with this and this. That's the door handle itself, and that's the lock-unlock function. And to show you the failure, straight up metal fatigue broke right off. I mean, this thing is a piece of cast, but yeah, it just broke it right off. So I feel vindicated about having bought a new one. Not like the new ones are all that expensive. They're seriously only 15-20 bucks, whatever it was. But yeah, I'm not sure which way is better, window up or window down. I put the window up hoping it would get me more room, but it didn't seem to. So really, you can pop this one off pretty quickly from the back side. It just comes up, and my whole assembly's busted anyway. But you pop that off, and then you'll be able to slide the whole thing forward once you have the drill riveted, which every time I drill a rivet, it reminds me of a joke my dad sent me about mechanics, that the purpose of a rivet is to spin on the head of your drill for eternity. And I'm always afraid that's about to happen to me every time I'm trying to drill a rivet, that it'll just spin and spin and spin and won't go through. But this one went nice and neat. But yeah, so there's that. I'll get this thing back together and get it functioning again and be able to actually get out of my truck without rolling down my window. So getting it to disconnect from that, and this is the new one I'm showing you, but that point right there that goes to the lock and unlock function, tried prying, tried pulling, whatever, but just a simple pair of pliers actually works best, just to pry against it with pliers. It snaps right out. I'm also going to save this little piece here of plastic that was behind it. I'll put it on the new one. Figure the factory put it there. They must be worried about water and splash and whatever else coming through there. So I have it. It seems to be in decent enough shape. I'll put it back on. Yeah, so something like that. Plastic slips back on. I don't know, moisture, dust protection. I'm not sure exactly what for. But factory had it there, so I'll put it back there, especially since mine's still usable. And yeah, let's pop this thing back in and see what happens. Alright, since I didn't have my riveter, I'm doing the exact same thing I did when my taw hose broke. That's a machine screw with a lock wash, or a lock nut, a couple washers. And that should hold it in nice and neat, and actually probably be easier to remove later. If I have to ever do this again, hopefully this will go for another 10-12 years, like the original factory one did. But, yeah, that's in there secure, and everything functions. That, however, holy crap, that's not cool, and I'm not sure why that's so tight. I don't know if it just needs to work itself in, but using the fob, it's working. But man, I don't know. Need to put some grease on that thing or what? But that's just ridiculously tight to move on a. I don't remember it being that tight out of the package. I don't know what happened. So there it is, all put back together. Mostly functional, except for that really tight squeak manual lock unlock. But as far as the electronic locks and unlocks, works just fine. Everything back the way it was. Now I'm just laying odds on which of these I have to do next, which door, because I know some of my passengers in the back rows have been complaining that one over there seems to be hard to get to, or hard to get to open. And that's exactly what happened to this one beforehand. It was just a little bit hard, and I yanked on it too hard, and snap, there went the piece of metal. But they're moving parts. They wear out. Like I said, it's why your parts store sells these things every day.